Hi, I'm Miranda,
I'm April.
and this is a True Crime Co.
A podcast about everything macabre and mysterious.
That's how you want to do it.
Why not?
Okay, so today's episode, we're going to focus on Ellen Rae Greenberg, who was born in June of 1983.
80s. Woo!
So today, we're going to be talking about Ellen Rae Greenberg. Ignore my doorbell. We're going to be talking about Ellen Rae Greenberg, who was a 27-year-old first grade teacher at Juanita Park Academy in Juanita, Philadelphia. It's like a neighborhood, not a city. So I don't know why I said it like it was a city. But anyways, she lived with her fiance Sam in a Manayunk neighborhood of Philadelphia. They had like a condo together. So on January 26, 2011, there was a blizzard in Philadelphia. So school was out. Everybody was mostly spending time at home. And so her fiance Sam decided he was going to go down to the complex gym and work out for a little bit. When he came back up, the apartment door was locked by like one of those, the hotel locks that you swing over when you don't want people to be able to break in.
Oh, didn't they call that a bar lock?
No, because the bar slats, I thought.
No, I thought that was just a chain one.
No. The chain is the chain one. A bar lock is a bar that slides into a lock. And then the swing lock is a swing thing that latches to a little bolt.
I'm gonna look it up.
Anyways,
No,
the apartment had a fancy lock on it. So even though he had his keys with him, he couldn't get into the apartment. And he spent the next 30 minutes texting her, trying to get her to open the door for him. But she didn't respond and she didn't open the door. So eventually he did decide to break into the home. And when he broke into the home, he found her in the kitchen covered in blood. And at that point, it was around 6:30 p.m. He called 911. And we're going to share that 911 call with you guys today. So if you don't like that, probably skip ahead.
Skip head. It's a swing bar lock.
I told you it was swing lock. Anyways, if you don't really care for 911 calls, go ahead and skip ahead a couple minutes. I don't know how long.
Skip ahead, not just skip head.
I said skip ahead.
The first time you said skip head.
Oh my God. Anyways, here's the 911 call.
I just walked to my apartment. Fiance's on the floor with blood everywhere.
What is the address?
4601 Flat Rock Road. Please come help.
4601
Flat Rock Road.
Is it the house or apartment?
Oh no. No.
Apartment.
It's an apartment.
What apartment number?
Please hurry, please.
Where's he bleeding from?
I don't know. I can't tell.
So you have to calm yourself down in order to get you some help.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm looking at her right now. I can't see anything. There's nothing broken. She's bleeding. Ellie.
You don't know where she's bleeding from? Can't see where blood coming from?
I think her head. I think it's in her head. I think it's everywhere.
Okay,
It's everywhere.
I think she might have fallen. Do you know what happened?
You may have there's blood on the table. Her picture is a little purple.
Okay, hold on for rescue for her. Stay on the phone. We're up here by the department 842. What's the address? No,
4601 Flat Rock Road. Please hurry.
4601 Flat Rock?
Yes.
What's wrong?
I went downstairs to go work out. I came back up. The door is latched. My fiance's inside. She wasn't answering. So after about a half hour, I decided to break it down. I see her now just on the floor with blood. She's not responding.
Okay, is she breathing? Look at her chest. I need you to calm down. I need you to look at her chest. It's really.
I really don't think she is.
Listen to me. Someone's on the way. Look look at her chest. Is she flat on her back?
Not her back. But
Look at her chest and tell me if it's going up and down, up and down.
I don't see her moving.
Okay, do you know how to do CPR?
I don't.
Okay, I can tell you what to do, okay, until they get there. I want you to keep her flat on her
God.
back. Hello?
Yeah, hi, okay.
Willing to do CPR with me over the phone so they can
I have to, right?
Okay, so get her flat on her back, bare her chest, okay? You want to rip her shirt off. Right. Go down by her side.
Oh my God. Ellie, please.
Listen, you can't freak out, sir, because you
Okay, I'm trying not. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper. Oh my God, she stabbed herself.
Where?
It's throwing a knife. Oh no, her knife's sticking out.
What?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she fell on it. I don't know.
Okay, well, don't touch it.
Okay, so I just let her down. You know, I mean, what do I do?
No, I mean, you can't. If the knife is at her chest, it's going to be kind of hard for you to do CPR at this time.
Oh no. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Police push operator. 277.
Is someone coming here?
Yes, they are. You said 4601 Flat Rock, right?
Yes.
Okay, someone's on the way. And the knife is still inside?
What?
The knife is still inside of her?
Yes, I think they got her.
Is it her chest or what area does it look like?
It looks like it's right in her heart.
Okay, someone's on the way out there. Okay, just get.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
How old is she?
She's 27.
27. And there's no sign of life at all?
No, please don't be. What?
Been trying to her arm and tell me if she responds to pain.
Ellie. Not her arm. Her head is still warm. I don't know if that means, but there's blood everywhere. I mean,
I know, but you can't. And the knife is still inside of her. How far? Can you see how far it went in?
it looks pretty deep.
Okay.
It looks pretty, and it's a long knife.
Don't touch anything. Yeah, don't touch anything. Okay.
I'm not touching anything. This is I can't believe this stuff.
So wait, is it just you there with her?
We're the only ones here.
And she ran in the door, you said, latched it shut?
No, I went downstairs to work out, and when I came back up, the door was latched.
Oh.
Like it was, it wasn't like, it was like locked from the side. And I'm yelling. I saw it.
Was the house broken into?
No.
So no sign of a break-in?
No sign of a break-in at all. I mean, there will be when you get here, because I had to break the latch, but to get in.
Okay, 4601 Flat Rock, and this is a house, right?
It's an apartment.
Okay.
Oh my God. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
So that's a 911 call.
That was a little weird.
I thought it was weird too.
I mean, how does he not know? Oh, I don't know where she's bleeding from, but there's blood everywhere. And how does he? Okay, I don't know about you, but I mean, I know my heart's around somewhere right here. I guess right there.
No,
Right there. Right there. Right here.
it's in the middle of your chest.
Yeah, this is where we put our hand when we did the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay.
Your heart's in the middle of your chest.
How heavy is my heart?
What?
How heavy is my heart? Standard human heart is how heavy?
Shut up.
But we're talking about a woman who just got stabbed in the heart. Well, okay, so if your heart's right there, that's where that sternum bone is, right?
That's like where the sternum bone is the strongest because it's
Right.
all like.
It's right,
right
there.
I mean, you can hit the heart from the side.
I mean, if you turn it and get through the rib cage to the side, but you'd have to know. Yeah, but you'd have to know exactly how to do it.
Weird 911 call aside, let's get all the facts of this case before we start conversing about it. So, weird 911 call happens at 6:40. Well, approximately 6:40. Ellen is pronounced dead as a result of 20 stab wounds, 10 to her back and neck, and then 10, I guess, to the front. I don't know. It just says including 10 to her back and neck. They also found 11 bruises in various stages of resolution on her right arm, abdomen, and right leg. So basically she had 11 bruises and they weren't the same age. Like they were at different stages of healing. So initially, the crime scene was treated as a suicide, so much so that they were even allowed to have the scene cleaned really early in the investigation.
Why?
So I couldn't even find the name of the company that cleaned it. I had actually seen it was referenced in 2 articles, but one of the articles was like, nobody can figure out why a crime scene cleanup was authorized. It seemed like it might have been authorized by the police department, but it didn't. I don't know. It didn't specifically say that. It just said that it was cleaned up fairly early in the investigation. Initially, the crime scene was treated as a suicide. An autopsy was performed by the Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office and initially ruled the death a homicide. However, in February of 2011, the ruling was overturned and stated as a suicide. And I saw another article stated that the landlord had taken a video, like the property owner had taken a video of this apartment before it had been cleaned up. But also they don't know where that
Well, I thought they were the owners.
no, it was a condo. They were living in the apartment. The building owner.
I mean, you can buy a condo in a building.
I just know it said the building owner had taken a video of the crime scene and given it to police, but nobody knows where that video is. And that a crime scene cleanup was ordered like early stages of the investigation. And originally, the medical examiner had ruled the death a homicide, suspicious, but then it was due to pressure, the medical examiner actually decided to switch it to suicide. So, like, the police department pressured the medical examiner into changing the ruling from homicide to suicide.
Why?
And they admitted to it like a decade later.
Did they just not want to do the work?
I don't know. And that's when I try to see, like, that's when I was trying to research Sam and see, like, who he is and, like, why this very obvious death was ruled a suicide. It's very obvious murder.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find anything out about him except for that he's like a sport broadcast personality now. And he's very private.
Okay, really, I really hate just knocking on the cops, seriously, but come on, guys, stop giving us ammunition. Really. You go and pressure a medical examiner after they spend all their time in school and getting a doctorate and saying, hey, this is definitely a homicide, but then they're going to not have the balls to stick by their decision? What?
Well, because initially the police always treated it like a suicide. When they came to the scene, they treated it like a suicide, which is probably why the cleanup was authorized, because they were like, oh, she killed herself. But let's talk about this.
Wait, is there a schematic of where the stab marks are?
Yes. And they did start, this case has been looked at multiple times since.
And they all say it's still suicide?
No, nobody does. And the medical examiner was like, yeah, well, I didn't think it was a suicide either, but the police pressured me into saying that. So basically, I also read somewhere that two of the wounds inflicted in her heart were done post-mortem.
Wait. Okay, so we're supposed to believe that this woman stabbed herself this many times in the upper neck and the head, and there's a big gash on her head. Mm-hmm. Is she like hyper flexible?
I think even without flexibility, the first most important thing to realize is how much effort it takes to stab somebody, even 10 times. Like, it's hard. I mean, I don't know. I never did it. But, like, the motion of stabbing someone.
What? You never stab someone? What?
Never. But I can't imagine you're cutting through soft tissue and muscle and bone in this case.
Yeah, also, you gotta have, like, some power, and you got to be strong to do that.
Right. And you have to have your whole force. Do you know the skull is so thick? Like, okay, I can see the spinal cord and the spine at that point is kind of, it's still bone though. That's the thing that gets me.
Well, I think you can like kill somebody instantly if that spot where your skull and your neck come together, your spine, you get right in between there, it's like instantaneous death or paralyzation. I don't know which one.
Right. You can't
But-
touch yourself and then still stab yourself 20 more times though.
No. No.
Just stabbing through your skull, in the back of your skull, okay, you would need full range of motion and to be able to put your full force into it.
And
But-
you would think it had a different trajectory, like up at an angle and not straight in. Like somebody standing behind you doing it instead of you doing it yourself from this angle.
I don't know, based on that picture, I could see the angle. But what gets me is, first off, I'm not stabbing myself 20 times. That's exhausting already. Plus, you're
Yeah.
stabbing through rib cage, skull,
Sinew.
soft tissue, muscle. But also, two of the heart wounds were said to be post-mortem.
Oh,
And also-
easy explainable. I got it. I got an explanation for you.
Also, two of the wounds to the back of her neck severed the spinal cord and would have made her paralyzed. So I
got an answer. I had no already.
dead and paralyzed.
No, I got an answer for you. She was obviously momentarily a zombie.
A paralyzed zombie
Obviously.
still doesn't fit with the other.
And she was slightly a vampire because it just reconnected that for like half a second so she could stab herself in the heart twice after she was dead. I solved it. You guys, you're welcome.
You know, sometimes we have really good theories, but that was just so
I mean,
on top
it's
of
better.
the four stab wounds that she absolutely couldn't have given to herself. Okay. The other 16 are highly improbable, in my opinion. You have to have determination. You have to have freaking stamina and strength to stab someone else 20 times. Imagine stabbing yourself 20 times. Then the four injuries that she couldn't have possibly done to herself. And then we have 11 bruises in different stages of healing. And I'm not pointing the finger at anybody, but it just reeks of domestic violence to me.
This couldn't possibly be domestic violence. I don't know what you could ever say to that. Come on now. Nobody gets domestic violence these days. Nobody.
I'm just a domestic violence professional. What do I know?
I mean, that would be nice if that was. It would be really nice if that was true what I just said, but unfortunately, it's not. But and then again, like at the chest. So if you're stabbing yourself, it's not like you're gonna do this like at an angle. You're not gonna stab yourself in the chest. That's just it. Okay.
We can. You can stab yourself in the heart, but you can't stab yourself in the heart twice. Okay.
Zombie.
So here's some of the further investigation. So I just really want to get away from the zombie theory because it's a little out there.
It's like gold.
I'm
surprised
maybe a little offensive, actually.
Yeah, it probably is. Sorry about that, but I mean, it doesn't even make logical sense of it being a suicide at all to me.
Also, first off, let's just be real here. It's not a suicide. There's no way it's a suicide. Okay.
I agree with that.
And
I do.
also, who would choose to kill themselves so brutally?
And
Let's
women
say-
aren't known for doing that either.
No, women are not known for causing like image-based injuries. So it's not very common. But also, it's not common to stab yourself 20 freaking times, okay?
Maybe we should
Fatal.
just like round numbers.
So 10 is a round number.
I'm just saying.
It's not suicide. Now you got me all, I don't even remember what I was saying anymore.
I got you discombobulated. Sorry.
I don't understand also where the 911 call is so weird.
It's a little weird.
It's so weird to me that you come in, you see your fiance in the kitchen, covered in blood, okay? 30 minutes of you texting her and beating on the door and she's not letting you in, but you let that continue for 30 minutes before you're like, something serious here, right? Then you break into the home. So it's not suicide. This is where I was going. Suicide. It's not suicide. Somebody killed her. And there's absolutely no way that somebody went in here, killed her, locked the door, and then got out a different way. Because I don't think they're on a low-level apartment either.
You know, I think you can close those swing bar locks from when you leave.
How?
Like a rubber band or something. I don't break and enter all the time.
You know what? I didn't think about that. What I was thinking is that we've now broken this door to solidify our story that we didn't do it, and it was her.
Ooh, you think it was Sam?
I'm not pointing fingers, you know, but because it's just you have okay. This is my job, so this may be just that I'm very hyper aware of this stuff. 11 bruises in different stages of healing. That's not bumping into stuff, okay? Because I bump into stuff all the time. I don't have 11 bruises covering my whole body. That's in different stages of healing. So already that's a red flag for me, and it should be a red flag for law enforcement. Already it's a red flag that we have 20 stab wounds and we're calling it a suicide. That's another red flag.
Now,
but also,
did I hear that, or was this a different case where she was stabbed 20 times and then hung?
no, she wasn't hung.
Oh, well,
So
that would be overkill.
When the first responders find her, and I confused this case with that case earlier because I had made a statement to you before we started about how I thought something had happened, but it ended up being something different. So, first off, weird that this happened twice. Anyway, so you come in, the first responders found her propped up against the cabinet with the knife still in her chest, okay? When he comes in and he's talking to 911, he makes it seem as if she would have fallen and stabbed herself. The way her body was found, I don't see that that's practical. And he clearly didn't start to try to do the compressions because the 911 operator obviously told him to pull her down and put her on her back. But also, where I was going before you derailed me again with the hangings comment, is you walk in and you're telling me the first thing you notice is all this blood, right? And her face is purple, but you don't notice that there is a knife sticking out of her chest.
Wait, why was her face purple?
I don't know. You just said that in the 911 call. And then to automatically start speculating what you think happened when you're on the phone with 911 seems weird to me also.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Like,
I mean,
I guess she fell on the knife or she killed herself. Because he literally said she must have killed herself.
sus, dude. Sus.
So.
Oh, and you know what? I looked him up, and he remarried 3 years later in January.
How did you find anything about him?
I put in his name.
It's just
it's sus. So
it is. It's a blizzard. Somebody broke into your apartment. Because it's not a suicide. Nobody believes this is suicide.
The police do?
No. So it says that a little bit later, it says March 15th, 2019, but then it goes on to say this later. So I don't know if those dates correlate or if they're just putting the same because they're the same topic. But the forensic scientist Henry Lee, who was testifying for the defense in the O.J. Simpson's case, reviewed the case file and stated that the number and type of wounds and bloodstain patterns observed are consistent with a homicide. So everybody is for real on the same page that it wasn't a suicide, except for the responding officers who were like, yeah, She definitely stabbed herself 20 times. I'm sure she gave herself those 11 bruises, too.
Mm-hmm. She ran into doors constantly.
I just can't.
Isn't that the normal thing for women to cover up? I fell down the stairs. I bumped into a door.
So, no.
No? Did they change now? Is it something more? Is like, no, I did it myself.
I don't know because I've never actually asked somebody where they got a bruise and then they didn't tell me the actual, well, the story that qualifies them for services.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's a little different in your area because, they really want assistance. Whereas, everyday life, that's when they would lie about it.
So, to wrap up my extent of the knowledge on this case, which is mediocre at best, I recommend Crime Junkies if you would like a more in-depth dive about the case.
Yeah, go watch somebody else. Go listen to somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Probably someone who won't come up with zombie vampire theories.
You know
And
what?
is a little bit more sensitive.
I am sensitive. I think it's terrible that she was killed in this manner. Seriously, I do.
Anyways.
Maybe I'm just a little dead inside, and it.
Also, we're a little rusty. We haven't done this in a while.
Yeah.
So this is like episode 1 all over again.
No, episode 1 was terrible. Actually, the episode 1, I came up with some great suggestions. You should listen to it. It's great. I'm a genius.
Well, if they're watching this, they probably watched episode 1.
Maybe. I haven't been great in some other ones, like the one I completely forgot we did. And I'm like, who was that?
You weren't paying attention.
I got most of it.
So in October of 2019, Greenberg's parents filed a civil suit against the Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office.
As they should.
And Marlon Osborne, the pathologist who conducted the autopsy. If you guys want to look him up, I actually think that he's a he, I think. But if you want to look them up, I'm pretty sure there's been some other cases that have been called into question by that particular medical examiner. And I could see why, because if you're willing to say that this was a suicide because the police pressured you to, then you really probably shouldn't have your job.
Truth. You getting some money under the table too? Is that what's happening?
Who knows? I
mean, why would you lie about it? That's my thing. This isn't like the 1700s where people are like, this is suicide. And nobody batted an eye. I mean, this is
2011. That's not that long ago.
No. That's what I'm saying. We shouldn't have to lie about people being murdered. People should be held responsible.
And I want to know why the police were so hard pressed to rule it as a suicide. Did they just not want to do the work? Or do they have some kind of connection to the person who committed the murder? It's weird.
And even if they had a connection, they should not have pressured anybody from changing their ruling, especially if they know for sure that it was not a suicide.
And you shouldn't have been able to be pressured into changing your ruling.
No, you should not. I mean, didn't you take the oath of medical examiners? Do no harm.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You take the Hippocratic oath.
Yeah, they are a doctor. If they're not, then
I was like, I don't think it applies to them, but it does.
Yeah, they went to medical school. I think you have to, don't you, to be a medical examiner?
Yes, you do. You have to have a medical history.
I guess they didn't take that. They're a little hypocritical, aren't they?
You're so ridiculous. This is just like our first episode.
Whatever.
It's gonna get better. So I'm not
it's better now. I'm a genius. There you go.
Oh my God. I'm not really sure what the outcome of that was. I know that they were just trying to get the death reclassified as a homicide or undetermined.
Undetermined. How is it undeterminable? She did
They
not
just
kill herself.
They wanted to change from something other than suicide. It was the whole point of the suit. And it was during this time that Osborne actually came out and admitted that they had changed the manner of death because police pressured them to do so.
Did they lose their medical license? I would really like to know because I think they
I'm
should.
not really sure, but I'm telling you, there's other cases against this particular medical examiner.
So they should lose their license.
Oh, he's a pathologist.
Still got to go to school for that.
Okay, anyways. In January of
Did
2020, the Philadelphia, I guess this is the outcome of that. In January of 2020, the Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas allowed the case to proceed past the motion to dismiss stage, and the trial was set to begin in 2021. Now I'm not sure what the outcome was. But in August of 2022, the district attorney's office announced that they would reopen the investigation. However, shortly after that, it was relinquished due to a conflict of interests. But there's no explanation as to what that conflict of interest was. That's all I got for you.
I mean, besides the part of it making the medical examiner's office and the police department look really bad.
Yeah, but that's not a conflict of interest because you should be trying to find the facts in that. I guess it could be.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on whose interest is conflicted.
The murderers, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did it. I do think there's some red flags in this case that makes Sam seem like a probable suspect to me. The 911 call, the speculation.
Well, I mean, how are they going to solve this? I mean, they cleaned up the crime scene. They can't find the video. Sam is out living his best life.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's I do not have faith that this one will ever be solved unless there is a confession.
I mean, they could exhume her remains unless she was cremated or not preserved. It's very unfortunate, and I really do feel bad for Ellen's family because can you just imagine that you're sitting here and you see all of this online, right? All this evidence, and then the police are like, "Oh, it was a suicide. She killed
This
her.
makes me mad.
She left no note whatsoever." But also, if you're gonna kill yourself, maybe you don't think about it. Maybe it is a last second decision, right? Why would you deadbolt the door? Don't you want someone to find you?
Well, here's my question is why did they swing bar the door if he was coming back because he was in the building?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why would she have locked the door? It's just weird. The 911 call specifically is what really keeps me up. Like, look, I listen to a lot of 911 calls. I really do. It's very unhealthy. But
Not good for your amount of anxiety either.
no, probably not.
No. Mm-mm.
But it's just weird. It's a weird 911 call.
I mean, it's a weird situation. Not just a 911 call for sure.
I don't even know how I would react. But I just feel like speculating suicide is weird. Not noticing the knife is weird. Not noticing the knife until you go to do CPR. But then also when the first responders get there, she's not in CPR position. That's another thing that bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all weird.
It is weird. And just looking at the pictures of her, I mean, she seemed to be an outgoing, happy person. I mean,
Well,
she was living her, huh?
Pictures. You can't go based on the pictures that you see.
Well, I know, but just the. I mean, you can have a genuine smile. She had a genuine smile in her photos, except for a couple of them. That was definitely a fake one. But I mean, she was first grade teacher. Okay, she was first grade teacher. She was getting married. I mean, this is like the dream of most people. Not most people, but a lot of people. So, what was her motive? What was the murderer's motive?
One say was abusive.
I mean, there's no proof of that. Are there any reports of domestic? I mean, besides the bruising. Don't get me wrong.
Not that I could find, but victims don't call the police because they don't want to get. First off, it'll be worse. Police involvement makes things worse a lot of times. But also, if you have no desire to leave, what does calling the police do? Nothing. But
Nothing.
make your situation worse.
It's just
So
it's just weird.
I really do hate whenever they're like, well, was there any history of domestic violence? You don't know. Just because they didn't call the police does not mean that there wasn't domestic violence. It just means that they didn't call the police.
Mm-hmm.
For me, domestic violence is just the obvious answer here. Like, she has 11 bruises, different stages. And if Sam's completely innocent, then I apologize for my allegations. However,
It's sus, dude.
it is.
It's sus.
It is.
I mean, and the story is sus. You're in the same building, but there's no actual evidence that you actually broke down the door. Was the swing lock actually on?
Well, I guess he would have really broken the door because that's something that could be. I haven't looked at the police report, so I don't know. But he says there is forced entry because I forced my way in.
It's still sus. Still sus. But look, here's the overall message here.
If you are experiencing domestic violence, there is help and you are not alone.
My other message here is if you're not happy with your person, like you feel like you made a mistake and you did not want to continue your relationship with this person, leave. Don't kill them.
Oh my God, yes.
Just leave.
All these family annihilators who left because they didn't see an end. It's called divorce.
Yeah. It's just, you know what? You'll hit rock bottom. One of you is going to hit rock bottom. Okay? But then the good thing about rock bottom is there's always up. And you have a lot of people have family.
You can't just say there's always up because you could just live in rock bottom for the rest of your life. But
I mean, you could. Okay, well, fine. There is the option of up if you decide to choose it. Is that better?
And also, if you decide to kill your partner because you can't see any other escape, that's not an escape either. That's 25 to life.
It should just be life or death. Or, you know what? If you have these kind of thoughts of killing your partner, seek therapy immediately. Don't listen to the voice.
I hope that one day there can be answers for Ellen's case. I feel like the answers are right there in front of everyone's face. Mm-hmm. But hopefully one day there can be closure and justice. And then maybe we can get some recognition that it's not suicide. Because I think that's so offensive.
Being ruled suicide?
Yes.
I mean, yeah. It's offensive that the person was pressured to change it from suicide. I mean, from homicide to suicide.
Because you have a job to do.
Do it.
Do the job. And if you're uncomfortable with the pressure that you're getting, report it. And if that doesn't help, work somewhere else. I mean, these are people's lives that you play a huge part in. Yeah. You cannot just be so easily swayed.
But then you got the whole thing. I know our justice system is very close-knit.
Trash.
And our police officers are very, close-knit. It's like a bond there. But, I mean, that's great and all. But that should not make you not do your job that you have committed yourself to do. You're there to serve the people, protect the people. And when you do this kind of shit, it doesn't look good. It
doesn't instill confidence in the justice.
No. And I really do hate being down on the cops. I mean, I think they get a lot of grief, but
It's all grief that they've earned.
yeah. So that was my next statement. Okay, I was gonna say, stop burning it if you don't want it, kind of thing. Take responsibility for your own actions, people. Seriously.
Just making sure. I don't want us to be delusional here
I
and say
know.
that it's unearned hate, because it isn't.
I know. No. Mm-mm.
And I think there is attempts at progress, but progress is slow, and the criminal justice field deals with people's lives, and it needs to speed up a little bit. It's all great. I mean, we talk about all these laws that get passed, like the Amber Alerts that came from a missing child. You know, Megan's Law comes from a child being, maybe not a child, but came from someone's hardship. These all came from somewhere. And we're like, oh, at least it led to this. Yeah, but the person whose story started that movement probably wishes it could have helped them.
Why wasn't it enforced before the person who is named after was impacted?
Exactly. And that's the problem, is that we're like, well, we fixed it now. Okay, but that didn't help all these other people that it could have used it before. And think about all the people who experienced it before that just didn't have the platform to make change. It makes me so mad. Yeah, my soapbox and then have like a 3-hour long episode.
All right. No, we're not doing that. You'll cut out like 2 hours of it.
I know, I'm probably going to cut out like 30 minutes of this one. But
What?
moral of the story is Ellen Greenberg was murdered. She did not commit suicide.
That's the
And-
moral of the story?
That's where I'm at.
I don't think there's any morality in the story.
Wrong word. I don't know what else to say. Ellen was murdered. She did not commit suicide. There is no justice in her case. Her murderer is at large, probably living his best life as a sports personality.
Not naming any names.
No finger pointing here, but it's unfortunate. I
is
really should have gone so hard on Sam, because what if he really is innocent? And now I'm just like slandered his name.
Well, I mean, I guess you would really need to know the reason that the police department pressured. Why was there pressure?
We'll never know.
I mean,
Because
was it the blizzard?
also, it does seem like an inside thing too. Like, police are so hard pressed to make this go away. Why? And that's why I looked into Sam, because I wanted to see if he was like a lawyer or something, like something in the justice system, and he's not. So it's unfortunate and it's sad.
It is.
And it's not a mysterious death, it's a murder.
For sure. 100%. Agreed.
Just
Murder.
like-
I think everybody has your opinion down that you believe that it is murder. It is not suicide. It is murder.
This episode was definitely more opinion than fact.
Maybe some of the opinion is fact. Nobody knows.
It's true. Nobody knows, because police didn't do their job again. It's a running
stop
theme
giving
of
us-
our podcast.
Stop giving us ammunition, people. Seriously.
Next week will be more fact than opinion.
Maybe.
I can't make that promise.
Yeah, no, you can't. No. I mean, isn't it what podcasts are, though? It's got facts in it, but then it's mostly your opinion.
Well, I think we're moving more towards a culture that doesn't like the salacious podcasts that joke around and have opinions. They more prefer just like the facts of the situation.
Well, that's no
So-
fun.
I don't think it's supposed to be fun. Well, also another thing that I left out earlier, because it seems pretty freaking duh, is like the wounds to her brain and her brain stem would have been excruciating. And that's like TBI, which is traumatic brain injury. That severely inhibits your ability to do things. It's unfortunate. That's all I have. I hope that Ellen does get justice one day and that her family gets the answers that they deserve.
Absolutely. They absolutely deserve something. They need closure. because this is not closure for them. Just because it was whatever the stupid ruling was, that's not closure. It's just too much crap.
Just keep fighting. Just keep fighting.
Yeah, but I don't want them to go. I don't want them to go broke fighting. But I
Well, they
get it.
shouldn't have to fight at all because it's so
No.
clearly
Murder.
bullshit.
It's homicide.
Anyways, I hope there's justice for the family. If you're experiencing violence at home, you don't have to experience it. You don't deserve it. And no matter what they tell you, it's not your fault. And if you need help, just reach out and there will be someone to help you.
Absolutely. Hopefully. Hopefully. Anyways.
Well, if you live where I live, I'll help you. Join us next week for our Valentine's Day special. Our episodes do come out Thursdays now instead of Tuesdays. So it'll be the day after Valentine's Day, but it's still associated. We're going to do the Valentine's Day Massacre of 1929.
Woo!
A little gangster action for you.
Wait, I guess I shouldn't woot that.
No, 7 people were maimed and murdered, so.
Okay, bye.
See you next week. Bye.